Greetings, this is Charles Darwin. I'm reading a novel. Back when I was alive, during my extended illness, I read a lot of novels for relaxation. Emma would read novels to me also. Thank you, Emma. Emma, did you realize that your great-great-great-granddaughter is a novelist? And her name is also Emma Darwin. She's, of course, my great-great-great-granddaughter as well. Well, why am I talking to you about novels? Why am I talking to you about literature? The answer may surprise you. The kind of thinking that goes into writing a novel and in undertaking scientific investigations is not as different as you might suppose. And in both cases, the scientist and the novelist creates a testable model of reality. A model of reality, then start it running and see if it works. Now, in the case of science, the models of reality, also known as hypotheses, are based upon the natural world. And the information that's used to test these models either comes from observations of nature or the results of scientific experiments. But there are some questions that you cannot investigate, limiting yourself to the scientific method. But that does not mean that you cannot investigate them with a scientific mode of thinking. Let's take an example. Life on other planets. Suppose that you have an Earth-like planet elsewhere in the galaxy. What would life be like on that planet if it had life? Would there, for example, be bacteria? Well, probably so, because bacteria can be thought of as units of metabolism. Would there be photosynthesis? Well, probably, because light is an abundant and very effective source of energy for metabolism. Would there be trees? Well, probably, because if you have photosynthetic organisms, there would be an advantage for the ones that could grow taller than the others, thus shading them out. Would there be animals? Probably, because once you have organisms that could get their nourishment by eating other organisms, some of them would chase others. Would there be intelligent animals? Well, that's also a possibility. Would these intelligent animals talk to each other using sound? Well, that's also very likely, because sound is a very effective and precise manner of communication over a long distance. Now, we'll never be able to actually test any of those ideas because the distances involved are so great that we will probably never actually make the journey and make direct observations. But what science fiction writers do is to create imaginary worlds, models of reality, and then set them running to see what would happen. An example would be a couple of novels by Mary Doria Russell. One of them is The Sparrow, the other is Children of God. She's trained as a scientist as well as being a writer, and she's created these imaginary worlds and then set them running to see what would happen. And that's what scientists do too, only scientists have the privilege of being able to test these models against actual observations in the physical world, on the Earth or from the Earth. But the mode of thinking that scientists and novelists use are not all that different. Create a testable model of reality, set it running, and see what would happen. This is Charles Darwin. Tally ho, and amen.